A beautiful sunset cast rays of golden-orange light across the land of Lofirium. The effect was multiplied by the numerous dust particles hanging in the air. Yet this place was far from peaceful. Stone monoliths lay across the ground, and the ground itself was torn to shreds. Not a tree grew in this barren wasteland, and no animals lived there. The place was a graveyard, larger than a mountain, a war zone of overwhelming proportions. Typically, Lofirium was silent, but for the wind whistling across the stone and earth. But this night, two voices could be clearly heard. "I'm not doing it!" "You will run the experiment, you fool, or else you will never see another day." "No! It goes against everything I've learned." "I don't care!" "You are the most powerful worldbender in the entire kingdom. We could have another one do this, but you are the most likely to be successful." Above the raised voices, a whimper could be heard. A thud, and the whimper fell silent again. "Stop it! You're going to hurt him!" "It is only a taste of what will be to come." "This is madness!" One of the boulders near the voices started shaking violently, and then with a crack broke loose from the ground and hurtled towards him. Stopping in midair, it shook some more before breaking into many small fragments, with a sound like a gunshot. Digory woke up with a start, only to realize that he had a busy day ahead. He thought about going back to sleep, but eventually decided to get moving instead. After getting dressed and combing his unruly, dark brown hair, he walked out into the tower that he had been moved into. Ever since building the royal castle of Aerulia, he had wanted this tower to himself, but when his older brother, the heir to the throne, had asked for it, Digory had realized that he had no choice but to find somewhere else to live. It was a large castle, and finding a room for the youngest prince had been easy. Digory grew somber as he remembered how he had finally gotten the room. He stopped partway down the tower to gaze out the window. Only last week his brother had been kidnapped. Digory thought about what might be happening to his brother now. Is he getting tortured? Held for ransom? Had he already been killed? Sadness swept over Digory, as it had every morning since. He quickly shut out the thoughts, not wishing to dwell on something that could not be changed. Continuing to look out the window, he took in Aerulia in all of its morning glory. The day was beautiful, with a bright blue sky, and pure clouds were scraping at the bottom of the kingdom. The castle was set on the main island, held in the air by the world-bending force. Smaller islands floated in the air around the castle, with the town stretching across them. Bridges connected each of the islands, allowing the crowds of people to get by. The noises of the town were as familiar as the crisp, cool air. Horses clopped across the stone streets. People talked about their day, and the many shops in town created a sense of belonging, like this was where Digory was meant to be. "Digory!" The sound was distorted, echoed by the sheer height of the tower and bouncing off the walls. "You have a guest from another kingdom. He said it was a new kingdom. Lofirium, I think?" Leave it up to the queen to be concerned about an ambassador, Digory thought. Mom was always nice, but this was the type of thing that my older brother used to get. Again, Digory pushed the thoughts away, and starting to head down the rest of the stairs, he responded, "Tell him to wait a moment, I'll be there shortly." Bounding down the stairs, he was met by his friend Callie. Her full name was actually Callie, but only his parents called her that. Fair-skinned, her golden hair fell down to her shoulders. She was almost as tall as him, and she had been catching up quickly for some time now. She had been a friend of his for years, and he never tired of her being around. However, being the daughter of one of the kingdom's own ambassadors, she was allowed in the castle whenever, and so she was around quite a lot. "Hey, I just saw that ambassador guy waiting in the hallway. He didn't seem happy." "Oh great," Digory thought. Probably another kingdom sending their condolences for the loss of his brother. They realized that there was no certainty that anything had happened. There would likely be a ransom sent out soon, and the royal family of Aerulia would simply pay it. It would not be the first time an Aerulian was held for ransom. Then he saw that Callie was now walking beside him, waiting for a response. "Oh, yeah? He said he was from Lofirium. You have any clue where that is?" "Nope. I bet you could ask one of the worldbenders. They may be full of secrets, but they sure know their way around." "Huh! Ask a worldbender. Why don't you do that?" They still won't say how this whole floating island mess works. You know perfectly well why I don't ask. Being friends with the royal family's youngest is completely different from actually being royalty. And anyway, it's like asking directions, except you aren't planning on going anywhere. The pair had reached the bottom of the stairwell now, and the hallway ahead led straight to the Great Hall. This was the room where Digory would talk to the ambassador. It would be informal, especially if the king and queen were not going to be present for the meeting. It was a feeling Digory had gotten used to. His older brother would get the attention of the royal family, while he was often left to his own methods. In this case, he would be meeting the ambassador by himself. Unless... Hey, Callie, you're better at the talking thing, right? Do you want to come and meet the ambassador too? Are you asking if I want to or if I can? Oh, come on. I don't want to go in there by myself. Not if you could come. Fine then. But let's not keep him waiting much longer while we talk. He looked grumpy enough as it is. As the two entered the great hall, Digory was struck again by how large and beautiful it was. Rising into the air, the massive arched roof was decorated with paintings and detailed carvings. The arch itself was made with giant wood beams. Windows stretched up the walls, giving the entire room an airy, spacious feel. Long tables ran down the hall, made for feasts and when the kingdom had councils or other large meetings. Today they would meet the ambassador at one end of the hall, where there was a large fireplace and multiple chairs set up to accommodate guests. The guests they would be accommodating today looked far from impressed. Digory was expecting another near-perfect ambassador, since most kingdoms like to show off by sending the best-looking and most well-spoken people as ambassadors. This man was tall and unnaturally thin. He was pale, as though he had been living underground for years, and Callie was right. He looked real mad. Welcome, Prince of Aerulia. Not even your parents could spare a moment to meet me today. I'm sorry, sir, but they've been really busy. Digory already hated the look on this guy's face. Without thinking, his hand strayed to his tunic, where he kept a dagger hidden for emergencies. My brother was... Yes, I know. Oh, you had heard? That is why I wish to talk to the royal family. We are the ones who kidnapped him, but there has been a complication. What? Digory had the dagger out in a flash and lunged towards the man. In a reflex, the man closed his eyes and threw his arms up, causing a chunk of the stone floor to fold up like a trapdoor. Digory slammed into this sudden wall and then backed up. You're a worldbender? Yes, you Aerulians call them that. You said there were complications. What happened to my brother? The man's already grim face grew even longer, until his glaring eyes caused Digory to take a step back and renew his hold on the dagger. Your brother, the heir to the throne of Aerulia, will not cooperate. We do not wish for riches or fame, but we need your brother to perform an experiment. He refuses, but he has revealed he has a soft spot for you. You are the one called Digory. Yes. What kind of experiment? If what you are asking is what your brother's part in it is, I cannot say. What I can promise is that no harm will come to him, assuming that you can talk him into doing the thing. He's here? No. You must come to Lofirium. That is why I must talk to your parents, child. All this time, Callie had been standing, observing the events as they unfolded. At this, she bristled and spoke up. No, you may ask for this favor, but your actions have forbidden you from seeing the king and queen. The prince and I shall ask on your behalf. Who is this, that you should talk to a royal ambassador this way? The man was obviously enraged. Sir, this is the royal ambassador of Aerulia, or at least one of them. She has shown her worth many times, and if she says that you are not to approach my parents, then I take it you will respect that. The man was obviously displeased, but decided it would be best not to test his luck. Very well then. My apologies, miss. I did not understand your position in the kingdom. I understand. Make sure it does not happen again. Digory slowly put the dagger back in its place. "You may wait in this room, sir, but you are not to go to any other part of the castle. We will go to my parents and inform them of what you have told us, and will return in time to let you know what they say. I will be waiting. You may want to hurry, though. I grow impatient quickly." The man smiled for the first time. His smile was anything but genuine, and Digory shuddered to think how often he would be seeing that smile in the days to come.